she go, strong in the battle, first in the fight. Where there's darkness, we bring light. Oh, my brothers.
Hey there, you are listening to Speak Free. I'm Ashlee Banks, and I'm here with
the Vessel Hero Vincent. How y'all doing tonight?
And we are with a special guest, someone special to me, Perry Red. Perry Red is an activist, and right now he is a candidate for the Ward 4 Council in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us, Perry. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Thank you. Speak free.
Yes. So this week has been really interesting. I'm sure we all have been paying attention to the headlines. I mean, you know, COVID's still a thing, so it's kind of hard not to pay attention to what's happening in the world. And Kenosha, a city that many of us are not familiar with if you're not from Wisconsin, has basically been in the headlines all week because of the shooting that took place earlier this week where Jacob Blake ended up paralyzed. And so I want us to pay attention to the protests that have been happening, and especially the protests that took place a couple days ago, Perry and Hero, where a 17-year-old who crossed the border illegally, carrying a rifle illegally, shot and killed 2 people and injured one other person. Have you guys seen the video?
No, honestly, I haven't seen the video of the kid. I didn't know that was I read the story, I just didn't know that was a video.
Yes, I've seen the video. I've captured the video. I've posited on the video and then had the video blocked by Facebook.
Wow. I was sent the video a couple of days ago, and as a journalist, as someone who's seen these shootings, as someone who's been at protests and knows how scary they can be, I don't think I've ever witnessed something of that magnitude, and I can only imagine what those people were feeling. I was watching the video, and people are already afraid because sometimes when you're at these protests, you are intimidated by the police. Sometimes, you know, the National Guard's there are police surrounding you, and you're the victim. And then Ann Coulter, she tweeted that she wanted this kid as president.
Wow.
Well, shift in our reality.
No shift at all. Listen, the fact of the matter is, we've been hearing, at least during my lifetime, the loud calls for Second Amendment protections and the elevation of the Second Amendment to the Constitution. So what we witnessed was this so-called militia that had assembled. The Kenosha police, they were offering these vigilantes water prior to the shooting. It's clear to me that America is showing its true colors, red, white, and blue, more white than anything else in the flag. So the deal is this young 17-year-old was a sacrificial lamb, and he may have acted under his own will, wanting to be a hero to his elders. But we in America, we have watched this, contortion of the Second Amendment. We've watched it be used against us since the days of Ronald Reagan's governorship in California, when the Black Panthers decided that they would use the same Constitution against white America in arming themselves. Understand that peaceful protests, and usually when it is protest by people of color, is often met with these intimidating commando and stormtroopers that are government agents. So what happened was you saw brave black people trying to attack someone, unarmed black people, trying to attack someone who was attacking them. So we know who the defenders of racism are. Tucker Carlson or Laura Ingraham or
Ann Coulter.
Especially Ann Coulter. And we watch it in this administration. Yes, the executive branch of our government, who have taken the oath to protect and serve, to honor the Constitution, to promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty. You know what? We just see America in its true form.
We do. Before
this
you
is
just
the system now, and everybody has this viewpoint and sees how the world is operating under this racist system. how do we move forward in talking about what we should do next when it comes to voting, when it comes to the election, when it comes to like trying to find leaders to work toward the future that we're trying to get to?
Well, the answer to that is, and I'll use one word, and I use this word with my family. I have 13 grandchildren, and so with them, every moment of the remainder of my life is spent, thus far has been spent in an education mode. The oldest 18, the youngest 3 years old. And so that word is vote. Why? Well, I know the vote can be twisted, contorted, it can be misconstrued, it can be cheated, but what I know is this: where black people have an equality in this country is at a ballot box, and it has shown itself to be one of the scariest things to a racist America, to racists in America, so much so that they will kill white people in order to prevent black people in having a vote.
You're going to vote for Kanye West instead.
Yeah, because it seems like valid reasons that everybody, look, we have a majority of people in the country that don't vote. It's not a minority. So it's not like we need to convince like a small population to make sure that we actually get this by a minuscule amount, we actually get what we need. It's the majority of the people in the country that don't vote. It's the manipulation in the media and how they're trying to construe your thoughts to think a certain way or have a certain ideology. And it doesn't fit a lot of Americans because we all come from different places and have different perceptions of life, etc., etc. So these valid reasons that people have for not wanting to partake in a system that's already oppressing them on a major level, and they can see this more evidently than ever before in their history. How do you convince people like that?
Well, the way we convince them is we show them better than we can tell them. So as we look at some of the stunts of your so-called president.
Have you ever encouraged the Postmaster General, a big donor to you, to slow the mail?
No, not at all. Wouldn't do that. The new Postmaster General, a major donor to the president's campaign, has put in place cost-cutting measures that have already reportedly slowed down mail delivery. Democrats call it a deliberate effort to sabotage the expected surge in mail-in voting.
President shutting down the postal service, coming out publicly against mail-in voting. We know that this is unusual. It's abnormal. But we have an abnormal leadership. We're in an abnormal time. And so for me to convince them, we say, let's look back in 1963, 1964, during the Civil Rights Movement, where they killed Cheney, Sherman, and Warner. They, being racist America, they were saying to us that we want to take our country back. Not back into our auspices, but back into history, back into... So what I say to folks is this, that voting is not the end all. It's not all that we do. It is the most important part of the pie. I am not opposed to protests, and we know that our protest is never violent until the police get involved. And so we must enact the full pie. And imagine a slice of pizza cut into 8 pieces. Here's the deal. We have to vote. We have to write. We have to speak. We have to march. We have to protest. We have to petition. We have to participate. So standing on the sidelines is nothing. I'm not a Democrat, nor am I a Republican, and I wouldn't vote for either of them. I'm a statehood Green in D.C. I don't like the Green Party, but I will be voting for Howie Hawkins for president. The deal is this: we can't keep doing the same thing, nothing, and expect a different result, because our opponents are doing something. The tools at our disposal. We cannot disparage the legislative efforts that have been on the books and then repealed off the books, especially after 2010 and the Tea Party movement. I don't want people to get institutional amnesia, because oftentimes we do. Here, it's important for us to realize that we have made gains, and those legislative gains only became real Because we exercise, we learn the rules of the game, we apply them. How you think we got an Ilhan Omar? And why she is the ire of people like Ann Coulter and your so-called President Trump? We need more of her.
Slavery. Shall we a third time kiss the foot